Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brent and in today's video we're going to be doing an M1 Finance monthly recap. We haven't done a monthly recap in quite a while, so what we're going to be doing is taking a look at the M1 Finance monthly performance and also quarterly. Here we are 3 months into 2022. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the M1 Finance overall performance, the monthly performance, the quarterly performance in comparison to the main indexes. We're going to go over all the dividends that we have received, go over how much we've actually invested in the M1 Finance portfolio, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at our current snapshot of where we are at with our portfolio dividend income going forward. That way, I want to do these on a monthly basis. I'm really kind of keep tracking of where I'm moving. Am I moving up? Am I moving down in comparison to the markets overall? Because, obviously I don't follow along and invest in the markets in this portfolio. So I'm taking a look at how my performance is in comparison to, say, just investing in the S&P 500 or similar funds. So with that said, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, definitely go down below, hit the red button to subscribe, make it gray, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So right off the bat, let's jump over into the M1 Finance portfolio. Now I've updated this and my dividend income, so everything should be fresh and up to date as far as where we're at. We just kind of closed here today on the 31st of March 2022. Overall, we had a pretty rocky day today. The market itself went down pretty good. The S&P 500 lost 1.37, Dow Jones down 1.13, and the Nasdaq down 1.21. So we ended the month on a negative note, which brought down the portfolio just slightly overall for the month. But overall, here we are, up 72.39% at the very end of March 2022. The capital gains have definitely increased over the last month. And I think we're positive. No, I think we're actually negative still year to date by a bit, but we'll go ahead and cover that here in just a minute. Our dividends have now passed not only $3,000, but we've just broken beyond $3,100. So we're at $3,128. So the earned dividends continues to grow and grow every week, every month, every year. And I really like to see that this number is growing on a really nice, it seems to be speeding up pretty nicely. So overall, our best performers are Apple. Apple is going to be a solid one. It's going to be really hard to beat at any time right now. Avi's up 126%. Seems to have pulled back, I believe, slightly here. Main Street Capital up 122. ABM Industries at 114. And Pfizer's beginning the pullback. Pfizer had been, I believe, in second place or third place here not too long ago. So these companies in top positions are definitely kind of battling each other out. Cisco for a time had dropped not too long ago as well. It had got kind of beat up here in the short term, was actually moved down in the portfolio overall, but it has definitely kind of sped up forward along. Our worst performers in the portfolio, Starbucks is picking it back up. We've been investing pretty heavily in Starbucks. We started this position I believe in March. So after starting it in the last month, we've invested nearly $1,500 of capital into it. It's up 5%. I would like to see it still continue to be, depressed and in the negative. That way I can continue to average into it at that share price. But if it's kind of moving slightly up towards, that's fine. It's only up 5% or so. I think that Starbucks definitely has room to the upside versus room to the downside. But either way, I'm just going to continue to invest in that one. Colgate, this is just one that's very passive. Colgate toothpaste and other products, home products. Clorox, again, another household item. This was down around 26% right now versus what it is saying. And it's had some issues. I think it's definitely oversold for where it should be. So I'm just going to continue to hold it. It doesn't hurt anything against the portfolio. It continues to pay and grows dividends. And that share price doesn't really matter in the end because you're not buying it. It's no longer, I guess it is money in a way, right? But you're buying a portion of a business. You're buying the business. You're buying the name. You're buying the products. And you own that now. And those products and services that you believe in, so long as you believe in them long term, they're going to eventually appreciate. Clorox isn't going to stay at this price for very long. Over time, the business will continue moving forward. People will get back into the groove of, hey, what if we buy Clorox? What if people invest more into Clorox? So over time, right now it just has that negative sentiment against it. But over time, I believe it'll just roll over and continue moving upwards. So, and that is the overall performance. Now, looking at the 1 month performance now. Now, this is where we're going to be taking a look at the 1 month performance of our portfolio versus the main indexes. Now, we are up 2.92%, around about 3%. Majority of this comes from capital gains. So over the past 1 month, we're up about $1,091. We did receive quite a bit of dividends or earned dividends for the month, meaning that we sat through the X dividends. If we click here on view, we can see which companies we went through X dividend within the month and how much dividends we're actually going to be receiving or have already received. So just because we sat through an X dividend and it was added into our earned dividends, it's not truly earned. Earned is just that we purchased a company and we've held it prior to the X dividend date, and then it hit the X dividend date, and we will become paid in the future when it shows up on our activity page. And you can always look up the paid portion of any company to see when they will pay out. I think we've been paid out by a few of the names on the list there, so we'll go ahead and check that here in just a minute in the activity portion. But over the past 1 month, we can see that our best performers here have been Pfizer and AbbVie. So these pharmaceutical companies have been on a bit of a tear here. Pfizer up 10.29, AbbVie up 10.23. REITs as well. Look at that. REITs in second place. We have IIPR up 9.93, Essex Property Trust up 9.63. So we have a industrial REIT and a multifamily REIT. We have an interesting name right here. I didn't expect Hormel Foods to be up this much in the last month, but here it is in fifth place for the month right there. Our worst performers for the month, let's go take a look at towards the bottom. Lowe's right here. This one took a bit of a beating here recently, and we started buying it. I think we bought a portion of it this last week that we invested. Stanley Black & Decker has also been beat up here just this week alone, but it's been on a bit of a tear to the downside for quite a while. I think year to date, I think it's just been on a downwards trend. It really hasn't had any upwards momentum at all. And kind of interesting little mixture here towards the bottom, because I do see some BDC, a BDC business, some financials, some household names. Interesting to kind of see the difference here in the portfolio. Now that is the monthly performance in comparison to, say, the indexes. Now let's take a look at the 1 month to the S&P 500. Now, if we take a look at the S&P 500, it is up 5.21%. And here we are, our portfolio is only up 2.29. The Dow Jones here for the month is up 4.15. And the NASDAQ for the month is up 5.08. So when you look at our portfolio versus, say, the indexes, we're actually not keeping up with the indexes. But the way that I kind of looked at it is, okay, we didn't keep up with the month, right? The monthly portion, we didn't really keep up. But then I look at the quarter. Quarter is the last 3 months of the year. Now, if I look at the quarter here, our portfolio is down roughly 3.79%. So we've lost 3.79% since we started back in, it looks like, starting value since January 3rd, 2022. So the 3rd of January here, if I flip through my calendar here, was Monday. So on Monday, January 3rd, the first day of the year that the market opened, since then, our portfolio is down 3.79%. We're down about $2,000 in total market gain, but we've earned $301 in that time frame. So this little portion here, I'd like to remove that because, I don't want it to add to the total value. So we're actually probably down, closer to, say, 3.9-ish area. And then if I flip over here to the S&P 500, and you can see year to date, we can just go back and look at 3 months as well. This is down 5.24. So here we are, we're down roughly 3.9%, whereas the S&P 500 over the last 3 months is down 5.2%. The Dow Jones over the last 3 months is down 4.72. The NASDAQ over those same 3 months is down 9.66. So when I look at my portfolio, and it's down less than 4%, whereas every other index has fallen much further than mine, further than mine overall. So I don't expect my portfolio to be putting on the same recovery gains as the other indexes, because in that same time frame over the last quarter, my portfolio hasn't fallen by as much. So let's go take a look at the activity. That's the next focus here. We've already covered all of our buys. Every time we've purchased over the month, we've always kind of done, what have we bought? We've made all these videos already. So our first dividend for the year was Siggy. We made $6.20, followed right behind by Pfizer for $16.90, Johnson & Johnson for $10.75. We had Main Street Capital. This is a monthly one, paying out $8.54. We also have Realty Income, another monthly. This is a REIT, paying out $6.77. Then we have Avery, paying out $4.83, followed right behind by Stanley Black & Decker, $4.52, which I remember seeing that on the monthly ex-dividend list, so we did receive that dividend from them. Then we have Lockheed Martin, $17.60. That's a pretty good dividend right there from that company. Another portion of Main Street Capital, $2.98. And then finally, the final dividend of the month for $14.60. So our total dividends that we received this month, in the month of March, from this account was $93.69. And I believe that this is the smallest payout that we receive on a monthly basis. So if we jump over to track your dividends now, we can see that this portfolio value here is the same as the portfolio value here. $43,164. Now our current portfolio dividend yield sits at 3.23. That's our yield on cost. Our annual income based off the very end of March is currently $1,157. And down here towards the bottom, we can see here that March is the third month of the year, so the sixth month would be June. So all in all, actually, June is probably our second best performer for dividends. The next month, here in April, we're due to receive roughly $114 for April, potentially, right? But we're going to be buying companies within the month of April, so this may actually increase during the time frame. So we'll see how this kind of goes. But all in all, this is showing that we are going to be receiving roughly $89 in June, which is another similar month to March. And here we are, we made $93.69. So you can see that this is slightly off, right? So this is a good thing to kind of base it off of, but it's not exact. You're always going to be adding more capital in the market, right? You're also going to have dividends that pay out into your account, and those will be reinvested as well. And if you're buying up companies that are going ex-dividend in, say, April, that's going to be influencing the upcoming dividends as well. So that is the recap of the month. What are we missing here? We went over the all-time, we went over the month, we went over the quarter performance and the year performance, we went over activity. And as far as funding goes, that was the other portion there. We've only put in about a sixth of the total amount that we can invest for 2022. So it would have been really nice to invest more, but the way that I do this portfolio is I invest a set amount every week, right? So how many weeks do we have left in 2022? So weeks remaining in 2022. So I kind of punched that in right there. We have 39 weeks remaining in 2022. So we have 39 weeks, right? 39. We make a deposit. I know it's in here somewhere, right there. Deposit $127.66. So the remaining amount that we have to invest is $4,978. So if I go over here and I look at my funding history, and I take what I've currently have remaining to invest, and I add what I've actually invested of there, which is set right at $6,000. So I have a plan for this account, and that plan is every week I invest a set amount, right? I don't not deposit capital into the account because the market's trading at all-time highs. I don't stop investing because the market's going to be potentially falling. right? I just kind of continue to dollar cost average, regardless whether I'm buying stocks at highs, at potential lows. It doesn't really matter because I'm just kind of in a process of just buying and buying and buying and not really caring in the short term what's going to happen with the market, right? Overall, the companies that I'm buying, I believe that their services or products are going to be needed or going to continue to produce revenue, net income. So those companies will continue to be prosperous and grow. So I'm not saying anything negative in the companies overall. There's always little glitches where they get beat up here in the short term, but that's just the name of the business. They're not always going to be growing quarter after quarter, year after year. They'll have some slow quarters. They'll have some years where they really exceeded projections, such as Clorox back in 2020, 2021. They were just overly needed. The company shot to the sky. I purchased it here after the downfall, but it's been downtrending since then, so no big deal. So I think that's going to be wrapping up our monthly recap of the M1 Finance portfolio. We've basically covered everything as far as the activity that we've done in the month, in the quarter, and just over the last year, the performance in comparison to the indexes. So I think we're going to wrap it up right there. Again, if you guys are brand new here to the channel, really appreciate you guys all tuning in with me today. If you guys have any comments or questions for me, let me know down in the comment section below. Otherwise, that is going to be it for me. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.